Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Rosa Maria and today I'm going to teach you how to make this simple reversible cloth napkin that is quick and is also a great project for beginners. Making your own cloth napkin is fun, an inexpensive way to set the table, and is eco-friendly also. Below in the description box, I have listed all the materials needed and provided a link where you can purchase the materials needed to complete this project. So come along and sew with me. Let's get started. The first step you will need is to cut two coordinating fabrics. Cut out two pieces for each of the coordinating fabrics. As you can see here, I already cut out my fabric print, and the measurement that I cut out was 17 inches by 17 inches. And the next fabric, the second piece, I cut out 17 inches by 17 inches for the solid fabric. You can use a rotary cutter. You can also use a pair of scissors. Whatever you feel comfortable with, go with it. The second step, you're going to take your print fabric and you're going to place it on your iron board, or if you have a wool board like I have here that you can use to start ironing. Start to iron your fabric and try to remove all the creases there. And once you finish ironing your print fabric, you take your solid fabric and you do the same thing and you start ironing to make sure all the creases are removed from the entire fabric. Step 4, I'm going to take one of these pins and I'm going to start pinning the fabric, both fabrics together. And I'm going to do that all around the fabric, but on this side of the fabric over here, I am going to measure 4 inches because I want to make sure that I have a 4-inch gap, which is going to make it easier for me to turn the fabric inside out. Over here is 4 inches, and I'm using here is a washable marker so it will mark permanently. When you want washable, and also if you place an iron over it, it will remove the marks. But this is to let me know this is a 4-inch gap that I need, and makes life easier for me. I'll place 2 pins, double pins here. So when I start to sew, it's reminding me, do not sew over this. Many times I have completely sewed all around the fabric, and that can be so frustrating when you don't realize you had to leave at least a 4-inch gap. So again, I'm placing these pins to remind me, and I'm going to continue to pin the fabric all around. So continue pinning it all around. Okay, as you can see here, I finished pinning the entire fabric, and again leaving a 4-inch gap so I could turn the fabric inside out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this fabric to the sewing machine and get this going. Make sure that you have a matching coordinating thread. I'm going to start to sew. I'm going to sew 1/2 inch. As I start to sew, I'm going to do a back stitch, and I'm using these 2 pins as a guide to let me know this is where I'm going to be starting, because again we need that 4-inch gap. And I'm going to continue to start sewing all the way down the fabric. You could take your time, whatever works for you. As I get to the end, I'm going to be very careful and take my time. I'm going to lift the foot presser, and I realized I still have a couple more stitches to sew down. So I'm going to just flip the fabric back to its original place and slowly, manually stitch the fabric, flip again, just to make sure that the edge of the fabric matches the edge of the presser foot. Now I'm going to continue to sew down again. I'm going to continue. Again, I'm going to slow down, take my time, lift the presser foot. I see that I still have couple more stitches to stitch down. Flip the fabric back where its original place. Put the presser foot down and do a little couple more stitches. Lift the presser foot, tilt it, and I'm going to continue to sew all the way down again. Again, I'm coming to the corner, take my time, lift the presser foot. I need about 2 more stitches. Flip it back. Lift the presser foot. Put the presser foot down. Continue sewing down. As I come all the way down where the 2 pins, as you see here, as a reminder, this is where I'm supposed to end. I take my time. I do is back stitch and just lift the presser foot, cut the thread. Okay, the next step we're going to do is, once you finish sewing all around the fabric, and bear in mind the 2 pins we left here because we need to leave a 4-inch gap, remove all your pins. Just make sure that you removed all your pins so you don't pinch yourself. Next, we're going to take a pair of scissors and we're going to slowly cut the corners. Make sure you don't cut right through the thread, which has happened to me numerous times. I want to avoid that. Continue cutting all 4 corners. Once you finish cutting all the 4 corners, we're going to start to turn the fabric inside out for this 4-inch gap that we made. Gently take your time and turn the fabric inside out. I misplaced my pointer, so I'm going to use this marker. That's the most important thing I have to learn, is to be a little more organized. As I get organized, I'll be able to find all my supplies quicker and easy and less stress. So slowly I'm going to, as you can see here, poke the corners to get the fabric out. Okay, once you do that, we're going to start to iron it flat and make sure that it starts to look good. Once you finish sewing all around the fabric, just remove the pins. And what I'll do is I'll just flip the fabric. Any extra little thread sticking out from the fabric, I just slowly, carefully clip it. There's a particular scissors to do that, but unfortunately I don't have one at the moment. And again, just keep clipping. And I just noticed I have a pin here. Make sure you remove all the pins. And just double check to see if you have any extra thread sticking out. And if you do, just slowly cut it. And once you're done clipping all the extra threads, you have completed your project. All right. Once you finish flipping the fabric inside out, you're going to take your iron and you're going to slowly iron all the edges flat. Take your time. If you have to kind of roll the fabric in order to get it nice and smooth as you iron, so do that. And you're going to continue ironing all around the corner until you get it nice and flat, as you can see here. Once you get it nice and flat, I usually do is I put a couple of pins around the fabric. Okay, what I do here, I'll take a couple of pins and just pin it around, especially at the center of the fabric. I just want to make sure nothing bulks. Continue. You could put as many pins as you feel comfortable with. I'm just putting some here in the center. Since I have a nicely ironed flat. And then now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine to do the final stitching for this project. Okay, now we're back at the sewing machine. I'm going to lower my needle and I'm going to slowly start to stitch. I'm going to do a back stitch now to secure the fabric, and I'm going to continue to stitch all the way down. You can take your time. As I get to the corner, I'm going to slowly lift the foot presser, and I notice I have like a little inch, like a little, not inch, but 1 or 2 stitches. I lift the foot presser, tilt it, lower the foot presser, and do 1 stitch manually. Try again to make sure that the fabric end lines up with the foot presser, and continue to stitch down to secure the fabric. Again, manually, take my time, test to see. Okay, looks good. Now I'm going to continue to sew all the way down. I'm going to stop here again, manually again, test it. I need just 1 manual stitch to do its trick, and here we go. Take my time again. Manually turn the knob. Test. Looks good. And now I'm going to continue to sew all the way down. As I get closer, I just want to make sure that it lines up. Now do a little back stitch. I'm done. Cut the thread. Once you finish sewing all around the fabric, just remove the pins. And what I'll do is I'll just flip the fabric. Any extra little thread sticking out from the fabric, I just slowly, carefully clip it. There's a particular scissors to do that, but unfortunately I don't have one at the moment. And again, just keep clipping. And I just noticed I have a pin here. Make sure you remove all the pins. And just double check to see if you have any extra thread sticking out. And if you do, just slowly cut it. And once you're done clipping all the extra threads, you have completed your project. All right. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, click on the red button, and if you click on it again, when the bell rings, YouTube will notify you every time I'm uploading a new video. And if you're interested in following me in social media, you can find those links in the description box below. Well, until next time, be well.